What up, y'all? It's your boy, Yo, the Earth is Flat. We got the Q, what it do? Say what's up, Q. We're doing a little road trip to Fort Myers, do a little work for a friend and customer. Long trip. And figured this would be a good time to share some of my thoughts with y'all. This is the same route that I take when I go see my folks in Cape Coral. For those of y'all that do not know, this is Alligator Alley, or 75 North. And one thing about this trip, when I go to my parents' house, is when you hop on from the Sawgrass, because this is a long road that just heads all the way west. For those of you who do not know, do not live in Florida, it goes all the way to the west side of Florida from the east side. And from where you get on to my parents' exit, it's over 100 miles. It's about 100 miles, 101 miles, 110 miles, something like that. And the cool thing about that is, as a flat earther, I've been thinking the past couple years in going there, how flat it is. Like, you just look. This is the Sawgrass and the Everglades, basically, to the right and to the left of us. But to the right and to the left in this entire 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive to my parents' house, it's flat. And not just the road, but the water. If you can see the water right there, that little river, that little stream, whatever you call that, little body of water to the right of the road in between us and where you see the Sawgrass there start, all that water is flat. It's all flat. And that water runs parallel to this street all the way to my parents' house, which is 100 miles. Now we know that the physics of water, the basic physics of water, is that it's flat on top. In any container, no matter what the shape of the container is, one thing that is consistent is the top of the water is always flat. There might be wind, there might be electromagnetic energy, i.e. the moon, that would cause, you know, and wind and tides and stuff like that, that would cause disruption on the surface of the water. But, you know, primarily water is flat when undisturbed. And here we have this body of water that is obviously flat on top, like any body of water is. Okay, now, of course, people are saying that on this globe, water is bending. As flat earthers, we know it does not bend, and that at least cannot be demonstrated in an experiment. It's only fake pictures that shows that. But I'm here to tell you, there's experiments that can be done, kind of like the Bedford study right here. You know, the Rowbotham Bedford study. Dr. Rowbotham's Bedford study. You know, that water does not curve slightly. It's a fairy tale. It's a fairy tale. Wake up, for those of you who are not flat earthers. That's my #1 proof or evidence of flat earthers, the physics of water. Okay? Second, I would say just use your eyeballs and your common sense and just step back for a minute and think, is this ground below me really spinning 1,000 miles per hour? Is there really this imaginary curve? Florida is flat, folks. The entire thing, from Tallahassee all the way to the Keys, is flat. All the way east from Boca Raton and Spanish River Beach, all the way west to the beach in Fort Myers. It is flat, primarily flat. You got little hills for the bridges and the underpasses and overpasses, but aside from that, and mountains of trash, the shit, excuse my language, is flat, folks. All right, I just figured I'd share that with y'all as I make this drive, because you do this drive, or any drive across the country, and you will notice a couple things. #1, overpopulation is a lie. If it's overpopulated where you live, move. All right, because even in the United States, there's plenty of room. But in the entire world, I guarantee you, we all fit just fine. Plenty of food and resources also. By the way, with 7 billion people in the planet, we'd all fit in Florida with 200 square feet to ourselves. Not suggesting we all live here. I'm just saying, you've been lied to in a lot of ways. Does it matter? It sure does. Does the shape of the earth matter? It sure does. But what really matters is that they were able to pull this kind of lie over your eyes. And not only that, the reason for the lies, which is to hide the creator by hiding his creation, and even worse, discrediting the book that describes this creation and how to get home to that creator. So that's why flat earth is important to me. That's why I'm taking some time to share this with y'all while me and Q take this long journey to go get this work done, doing what we got to do. If you live in Florida, you ever take the Sawgrass I'm sorry, the Alligator Alley, east and west, just pay attention. I mean, use your eyeballs and your common sense. Look, it's flat. It's flat, and it's not just as far as your eyes can see, and there's a curvature there. You can test that water that's to the side of us over there and see that for the entire 100 miles, the top of that water is flat and it doesn't bend. There's experiments you can do with like flags and things like that. You test the depth of the water with a flag or a pole, and you see that it's the same height all the way through, and those flags do not disappear because there is no curvature. Like the Rowbotham study did, it shows there is no curvature. It is flat, just like it appears, just like science and physics tell us. If you use Pythagorean theorem and you take the globe dimensions that they've given us over 100 miles, okay, there would be over 66 feet of curvature. Over 66 feet of curvature. So from where I got on the Sawgrass to where I get off there in my parents' house, over 100 miles. If you do the math, based on their numbers, not conspiracytheory.com, not flatearther.com, not theplaintruth.com, all right? I'm talking about NASA numbers, science numbers, the numbers that are taught worldwide, that the globe is about 26,000 miles in circumference. That would mean, based on their numbers, that it is 8 inches per mile squared. And who's heard a little bit about flat Earth knows that that is the formula, 8 inches per mile squared. If you apply that formula over 100 miles, you'll get almost 67 feet of curvature. So what I'm telling you is that curvature is not to be found. Not 66 feet, not even a foot of curvature. It is flat, just like the water that runs next to us. The only curvature is when we go up and down the underpasses where water's going under us. That's it. They're man-made. There is not any hills in Florida there are other than the trash, and there is no curvature. All right, I just figured I'd vent that out on my ride. All right, y'all. Make it a great weekend. Yo, the Earth is flat, and that's a fact. I'm out.